I don't think anything has influenced how I see and use the internet more than Omegle did. When I first got on Omegle, I was 15, and it was a text-only chat site where you could talk to strangers. There was no video yet, that came later, and that's important because when you're represented to strangers only as stranger, and represented to yourself only as you quickly realize you can be anyone you want. All you had to do was click new chat and start typing. Before Omegle, I used the internet, but it was within more rigid structures, at least in some sense. Sure, I was a penguin, I was on RuneScape, I was on forums and blogs, I freelanced in the comments of Reddit, I uploaded a couple videos to YouTube, one of which is still the top result if you search epic sledding montage, which I'm very proud of. But on all these sites, before I did anything else, I had to sign up and fix some parameters for who I was or wanted to be. When I went to get on AOL, I was presented with the screen you're always presented with, the sign-up screen, and I felt that this was like a major decision, like choosing an outfit to wear but you can never take it off. So the next day, I talked to my classmate at Hardy Elementary School and asked what I should do, and he said, just choose an object, a color, and a number. So I did. And for about a decade of my life, my Apple ID was tied to redrobot100 at AOL.com. I felt kind of just stuck with it. This initial hurdle, this sign-up screen, it was this constant first step of self-definition that was always present until I went on Omegle for the first time. What was immediately clear from the first time you tried this was stranger could be anyone. That's the whole point. What was less immediately clear to me, but I soon realized, was that you could also be anyone. And that's also kind of the whole point. Omegle was this black hole of identity created by the gravitational forces of the internet left unchecked. No profile pictures, no usernames, no bios, no sign-up screen, no outfit to choose. Just two people floating in space, undefined, paired by chance. So in desperation and maybe surrender, we threw up our hands and started almost every chat by asking the same grounding question. ASL, age, sex, location. And on the first of a series of winter nights I spent holed up in my bedroom on what felt like the Wild West of the internet, I answered this question honestly. What followed were fits and spurts of conversations, some chats that were entertaining, I'm sure, but on the whole, many false starts and notices of stranger disconnected. But despite it all, I kept pulling this lever of the conversation slot machine because in addition to being bored, like many, I was lonely and 15 and horny and curious, and after spending all day at my all-boys school, the prospect of talking to girls or people who said they were girls was exciting. And it was this game where the goal was to have a conversation, and maybe that conversation would lead to sexting. Sometimes it did. And when you're playing a game, you learn how to play it better and how to get people to stay on and talk for longer. So you try on different outfits. What music do I listen to? What movies do I like? What am I wearing? Whatever I wanted, whatever felt most funny, most interesting, most appealing in the moment. Reforming myself was as easy as simply deciding, and the only limit was my desire and the speed at which I could type. On any website you can pretend to be someone you're not, but on Omegle you could do so easily that just being yourself no longer felt like the default position to hold, just one option among many to choose from. I don't think it's a coincidence a site like Omegle got popular around the time Facebook was getting really popular. Facebook was your real self online, and clearly this appealed to many, including myself, but maybe deep down we all felt we now live in an expansive, infinitely malleable landscape, and this is all we're gonna do? Be ourselves? To this day, I look at the internet and I see Omegle everywhere. We pull the slot machine and reform ourselves into versions of ourselves we think will get people to stay on for longer. We talk to our computers and our computers talk back. I'm not really in the business of defending NFTs, but when people say NFTs have zero utility, I think it's funny, as if there's no more foundational utility on the internet than providing someone an outfit to try on and a random group of people to talk to. When I saw the other week that Omegle shut down, at first I didn't think that much of it. I didn't really and still don't really mourn the death of the site. Maybe I should, but its time in my life passed by. But Omegle certainly expanded my sense of the possibilities of who I can be and how I can present and how I can form myself on the internet, and what can come from talking to strangers online who are only strangers until you talk to them. Omegle was this kind of third rail of the internet, probably destined to explode. But it's a chapter worth noting, I think, and in my life I'm very happy it existed. And third rails are necessary. They hold all the power, and they keep the trains moving.